The Underhive pressed against us, a suffocating weight of rusted iron, air thick with the stench of wrought and chem-tain. We were a ragged crew. Alexio, Fearonika, Wilk, soiled dubs and I, scavengers of the dark, chasing whispers of loot in the sump's depths. The northeast pipe was our path, its walls slick with filth, until it spat us out at the edge of a black lake, born from a breached conduit, its surface a mirror for the hive's despair. In its heart, an island rose, crowned by a relic of ancient tech, corroded, silent but thrumming with a wrongness that made my skin crawl. We followed some tracks that led southwest, as they were fresh enough to raise our hackles. The tracks ended at a door with its hinges blasted to slag with metal, warped by something fiercer than lasfire. We pushed on, the crew's eyes darting to shadows. The path twisted southeast, and the air grew heavy like a pleasure girl from Synthetikas' garden. We found a chamber, its walls scrawled with sigils that burn the mind to look at. It was obvious that a ritual had been wrought here, one of the kind that leaves souls screaming. Blood pooled in the dirt, still wet. I clenched my fists, muttering litanies to steady the crew. My will held, but only just. Northward, a gantry swayed over a chasm, its bolts groaning under our weight. We crossed, boots scraping rust, hearts pounding as the structure shuddered. It held. At its end, a loot casket waited, half buried in debris. Wilk, ever greedy, cracked it open. A stub gun, a handful of dum-dum rounds, and 64 credits. A small fortune for such a find. We retraced our steps, but the gantry betrayed us. A crack split the air, and Wilk plummeted. It was only Alexio's quick hand that saved him, snagging him from the void. The hive never forgives, but sometimes it spares. Back in the ritual chamber, we froze. They were waiting. 3 corpse workers, their boning saws dripping, crouched in the sigil's center, gnawing on something that might have been human. Their eyes glinted, feral and hollow. We struck first. Soiled dubs charged, autogun barking, but his shots went wide. Fearonika was cleaner, her slug dropping one to the dirt. Alexio's shotgun roared, and the second worker burst into red ruin. The third lunged, but he was already dead. He just didn't know it. We lit torches, their flicker barely cutting the gloom, and found a ductway east. It spat us into a greenhouse of nightmares, a jungle of writhing vines and carnivorous blooms. Wilk spotted a vine coiling for his throat and burned it with his lasgun. Soiled dubs finished the second, his autogun chewing through the plant's maw. In its ruin, a pouch spilled free, 35 credits, stained with sap and blood. South, another ductway beckoned. We crawled through, emerging in a vast chamber, 12 feet square, its air thick with warp taint. Skulls piled high, a fane to some unspeakable god. 3 cultists chanted before it, their saws crusted with gore, their voices raw from screaming. We hit them hard. Alexio's shotgun tore through 2, one collapsing in a heap, the other crawling, bleeding. The third rolled clear, his saw sword flashing for Fearonika's neck. She danced aside, her stub gun missing, her knife grazing only cloth. Wilk charged the downed man, his blade ending the cultist's moans. Soiled dubs sprayed bullets, hitting nothing but walls. The last cultist was a storm of steel, his saw sword parrying Alexio's shotgun butt, his stub gun barking. A slug tore through Alexio's flak, blood welling. Another followed, and he fell, gasping. Wilk roared, his knife finding the cultist's chest. The man bolted for a northern ductway, but Fearonika's slug caught him, painting the wall with his skull. Silence followed, broken only by our ragged breaths. We patched Alexio, his chest a mess of blood and pain. We would have to get him back to the dusty din gate as soon as possible, or he wouldn't make it. Fearonika pried open the chamber's casket to find 30 credits, a pittance for the cost. The hive watched us, its shadows hungry. We'd defiled their fane, spilled their blood, but the sump's heart still beat, and it hated us for it.